CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, it's a rainy and gray day across all of South Florida, and the conditions are here to stay. This is a look at Hollywood Beach. Definitely not a beach day. The winds are strong and the Broadwalk is empty. A similar scene in Miami Beach. Rounds of rain are rolling in throughout the day and into the afternoon. We want to get right to next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler. And Cindy, it sounds like things only amplify as we head to the weekend.
Yeah, it looks that way. Not too bad so far today. Of course, it's blustery, but it's not cold. And we've had some rain, but not a lot of rain. So the flood watch that had been in effect for the coastal areas of Broward and Miami-Dade counties, that has been canceled. So there's some good news for you. But look at these temperatures. 72 in Miami. High today has been 74, so not much of a temperature variance there. 70 degrees at Fort Lauderdale. Those winds are gusting to 37 miles per hour. Really, the big story here is the strong wind. So this is what we're looking at. Rain and wind to continue. Flood watch, that's going to go up for the Keys starting tomorrow morning because we still are expecting some rain this weekend. Wind advisory, that will stay in effect with wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour and weekend rain. And we could even see some storms this weekend. Listen up here. We're going to really be watching this carefully. So these are the threats here. Moderate for wind, low tornado, even though we're going to have to keep an eye on this for Saturday night into early Sunday morning, depending on how far south an area of low pressure tracks across the state of Florida. We could be in at least a marginal risk for some isolated tornadoes here. Flooding, of course, is high, and that elevated for that coastal flooding with this onshore flow, that continues to be a risk. We're going to watch those areas. So we still have a flood watch that goes in effect tomorrow morning for the Keys, all of the Keys, but the one up here to the north has been canceled now, so that's good. But that frontal system just sits in the same spot here, and that's really what's the focus for all that rain. And it's been heavy rain along the frontal system, moving from east to west. These little showers are trying to work their way north. We're getting some moisture coming in from the Atlantic along with these strong winds, that onshore flow. So very fast moving drizzle, light rain showers, but nothing heavy so far. But these winds, my goodness, gusting to 29 right now in Miami. Straight winds at 17. Everything coming out of the northeast, and these winds are really not going to back off. So therefore, wind advisory will stay up until Sunday morning at 7 a.m. We could still see some gusts up to 45 miles per hour. As a matter of fact, tomorrow's looking like another breezy to windy day. Again, north to easterly winds. We've got so many coastal hazards. We still have the gale warning out here in the Atlantic and Key Biscayne. Then I go into a gale watch down at the Keys. The rip current risk is very high. Just stay off the water, stay out of the water. High surf advisory, coastal flooding conditions. We've got them all here. So we're going to watch an area of low pressure develop in the Gulf, track across Florida, and depending how far south this little low gets, we could touch into that slight risk for severe weather coming up on Saturday into Sunday morning. By next week, this thing is out of here. We've got a cold front coming through that's going to drop our temperatures and dry us out. Even we've dropped those rain totals here a little bit, 1 to 3, maybe up to 4 inches of rain. So that has come down quite a bit too. So there's a lot of good news here too. But that severe threat will be elevated coming up on Saturday. That's going to be the day to watch. Here's a forecast. Temperatures are going to stick in the mid-70s Friday. Saturday, the big day to watch. Improving by Sunday night, and then next week, much better, drier, but cooler.
All right, a tough few days ahead and looking forward to those changes. Thank you, Cindy. The House has voted along party lines. It's to begin an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The vote gives committees investigating the president better legal standing to seek documents and witness testimony. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand joins us live from Washington, D.C. Natalie, what exactly would this mean for a 2024 presidential election?
Yeah, well, this vote puts all members on the record on this issue ahead of a critical election year 2024, of course, when not only will President Biden be on the ballot, but all 435 House seats. And so really what this inquiry uncovers next year could have political implications. Both parties actually believe that they could stand to benefit from the inquiry. inquiry, depending on what is uncovered. So far, the year-long investigation by House Republicans has not produced direct evidence of wrongdoing by the president, and that's something that Democrats repeatedly point to, accusing Republicans of a political stunt here. But as you mentioned, Naja, House Republicans say that they needed to formalize this impeachment inquiry to give them new powers to move forward with their investigation, a greater legal authority to try and enforce the subpoenas, obtain more witness testimony and documents. But a lot remains to be seen here, with both sides really digging in, and we'll have to wait and see what happens in 2024.
All right, a lot to unpack there. Will be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Thank you, Natalie, for that report. A new preventative measure is kicking off in Hollywood Beach. It's to help with the extensive flooding by tidal elevation and storm surge. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten has the report.
City crews here in Hollywood have been working nearly round the clock trying to get Tiger Dam laid around the beach areas between the beach and the Broadwalk. Tiger Dam is a temporary water-filled tube that helps stop ocean water and sand from flooding onto the Broadwalk. The original plan was to put it only at vulnerable locations, but now it's going into all 117 openings between the beach and the Broadwalk. They're finding without Tiger Dam in place, in some areas sand drifts are forming on the Broadwalk. This is the first time it's being used, so right now it's a learning experience. What do we learn from this going forward in terms of when we have a hurricane heading our direction?
Going forward, I think the biggest takeaway for us is that we, when we have a hurricane or a tropical storm coming in off the Atlantic, we're going to deploy the Tiger Dams at every single opening along the knee wall on the Broadwalk ahead of the storm.
They're hoping to have Tiger Dam deployed on all 117 openings between the beach and the Broadwalk by this evening. We'll have much more coming up on CBS News Miami. On the Hollywood Broadwalk, Ted Scouten, CBS News Miami.
Ted, thank you. More news when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Now to the presidential campaign. We are about a month away from the Iowa caucuses. It's the first presidential contest in the nation. CBS News Miami's Jim DeFede spent the week covering the campaigns in Iowa.
Day 3 here in Iowa. Last night we were at a Donald Trump event. It wasn't a rally, it was a Commit to Caucus event where he's encouraging his supporters to make sure they turn out on January 15th caucus night, because that's the key. Who leaves their houses on that cold January evening and actually caucuses and participates in that process? Today we're going to be talking to somebody from the Ron DeSantis campaign who's helping organize his efforts for caucus night. It's all very interesting, and we're going to have our report starting at 5 tonight on CBS News Miami.
Looking forward to that, and we hope you will join us tonight for a CBS News Miami special. It is called Voters Decide. Join Jim DeFede in Iowa for new developments from the campaign trail. That's tonight at 7:30 on the CBS News Miami stream. You'll find it on the CBS News app, cbsmiami.com, Pluto TV, or your favorite streaming platform. Now to a perfect Miami Proud for the holiday season. In this all-new edition, we introduce you to a businessman who's made it his mission to save lives.
To me, I can't read good, I can't spell good, but I'm pretty good in business, and he gave me a gift that made me a lot of money, and now it's payback time.
For decades, Stephen Dwoskin has been very generous to the University of Miami Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center and the Miller School of Medicine, donating millions in memory of his father and brother who died from cancer.
I'm a control freak, and that's the first time in my life I couldn't help them, and it was very frustrating to me.
And although Dwoskin was doing everything in his power to help, he felt he had to do more, especially for the youngest of patients.
I could understand somebody my age dying of cancer. Had a good life, but an 8-year-old kid, I can't figure that out. I can't, and I believe in God, but I don't understand that.
He turned that lack of understanding into action, donating money to the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center to establish the Dwoskin Children's Cancer Research Fund.
What we do here is to study each tumor cell at a time, one by one.
Here, they research the most aggressive types of tumors.
Thanks to this incredibly generous donation from Mr. Dwoskin, we can do research on these tumors that otherwise we would not be able to do.
We first met Mr. Dwoskin when we profiled Kentucky Derby winning co-owner Ramiro Restrepo. Restrepo donated a portion of his winnings to the Dwoskin Fund. It was during our meeting about Restrepo that Dwoskin himself is someone making Miami proud.
I had a calling to help children. And then I got involved with the director, and I told him I wanted to help children and find cures for their cancer.
That is fantastic. Researchers say the Children's Fund will have a significant impact on the lives of children and families all around the world. And we hope that you will spend part of your Christmas day with us as we highlight the stories that make Miami proud. That is starting at 5 p.m. on Christmas Day on all of our CBS Miami platforms. Plus, we have even more to share with you on Christmas Day. Join us for 2023, A Year to Remember. It is a look back on the big news, weather, and sports stories that impacted all of us. That's at 7 p.m. Christmas Day on all of our CBS Miami platforms, and we hope you'll watch. The power of CBS News and the CBS News Miami stream are always at your fingertips. We're on Pluto TV, and it's all free. Or you can find us on your favorite streaming device with the CBS News app, then click CBS News Miami. That's your Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Have a good day, and stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami.